There we go. Can you guys still hear me okay? Thumbs up. Jen, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? You're the only one I can see right now. Okay. So I'd love to start with a meditation. If I can invite everybody to, wherever you are, to place your feet on the ground. Sit tall, lie down, whatever your body needs right now, and close your eyes. So I've been doing a lot of meditation. I've started recording some meditations as well, which I'll make available on my YouTube channel. And take a few moments to notice how you're feeling right now. What sensations are moving through you, what energy, what emotional states. So these are completely unprecedented times. And it's really normal to be experiencing some fear and some tension. Take a moment to feel what that feels like in your body. Where do you feel it? What does it feel like? Maybe there's other sensations or emotions moving through you. Maybe there's a sense of hopefulness, an ease, a relaxation. And if so, track that and notice what it feels like. And when you can track it in your body and feel yourself, it becomes easier to be able to connect with each other, to feel each other, to communicate together. And regardless of what you're feeling, can you trust in this moment that you are prepared and you have been preparing for this? Maybe your whole life you've been preparing for this. Maybe in your recent practices of yoga or meditation or mindfulness, you've been preparing for this. And your heart has been preparing for this, to be open, to receive, and to be able to feel whatever needs to be felt, to be able to move through this. Take a few deep breaths in. And can you trust that your compassionate heart is ready? It's open. Maybe begin to soften any tension or tightness in your mind and your thoughts. And relax your shoulders. Relax your hands. And be willing to feel your inner landscape in your body. Being on this call and moving into these tense times that we're sharing on the globe is an opportunity to really lean into some vulnerability. It calls of us to show up with courage and a courageous heart. To be able to step forward instead of stepping back when uncertainty engulfs us. Perhaps the request to consider a shift in perspective, to realign and see different possibilities, potentials, and blessings that come from this. Please find a few more breaths. Good. And then soften your gaze. Take your time, gently relax your hands wherever they happen to be, and open your eyes. All right. I'm actually going to ask everybody to turn their video off because I realize that what's going to happen is the last person to speak, which was Jen, is going to be the face of this video when I share it. So if you'd like to turn your videos off, until the end of this. I've put together a presentation for you today, and I'm going to go through it with you. And then I'll ask you to turn your videos back on so that I can see your beautiful faces and we can interact again. Does anybody need help to turn their video off?
Is it just stop video?
Stop video. Yeah. Yeah. On the bottom left hand of your screen. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like everybody's off. Good. All right. So I've put together a presentation. I've been doing a lot of meditation. I've been doing a lot of courses with my own coaches, some of the offerings that they're giving. And one of the meditation people that I've been doing a lot of listening to, for some of you that may want to take notes, you may want to take notes today, is Tara Brock. Tara has a podcast that you can listen to, very relevant content, talks, Dharma talks, as well as meditations. And then one of my coaches is David Bayer, and David has put together a really great offering where he started a Facebook group to be able to support people, and I believe it's called David Bayer, Bayer. And what David says is, how can you be unshakable in these times of uncertainty? Because the world is moving like faster than we can even take a breath. It's incredible how quickly things are changing. And we have an opportunity to get sucked into that vortex of fear and anxiety and tension. And that's I want to just stress, a really normal thing. And I don't want to diminish anybody's suffering at this moment. Anybody who's not certain how they're going to pay their bills and how they're, how their loved ones might get sick, or their parents or their children. I want to acknowledge that what you're feeling is very real. And I want to take you through a journey tonight, where we can look at what's in your control, what's out of your control, and how you can create a mindset that will allow you to be able to move through these times with a sense of grace and ease and growth. So I did a check-in with you already about how you're doing. And I'd love for you to just take a moment to consider, how are you feeling about the situation in your own home, your situation, your current experience right now? And how are you feeling about what's moving on in the world? And whatever you're feeling, I want you to allow it to be, to accept it, to meet it with a sense of compassion and acceptance. So it may be that you're feeling some grief. I know that I've been moving through pulsations of feeling grief for those who are suffering, for all the incredible losses. When I see the numbers growing and knowing that people are losing their loved ones, it really brings a sadness to my heart. And that's paired with a sense of just a lot of restfulness and freedom and spaciousness that I've been longing for in my life. So there's this duality that's really showing up for me. And duality is, I know we teach in Tantric, we teach non-duality in terms of how we relate to others, but there's a real duality that's showing up in the world right now. This light and this dark, right? The death and the people that are recovering, the freedom for people who can be at home and let go of their attachment to work and spend time with their family, with the fear of how is the income going to come in. So there's a lot of duality happening. And so take a moment to acknowledge how you're feeling about yourself, your situation, and the situation that's happening in the world. And can you befriend yourself and all of those feelings with a sense of compassion? I'm going to give you some facts right now, and these facts are changing every minute. And this is not to bring fear in you, because I want to end this with a sense of hope, but I want to acknowledge the truth of what's happening right now is that the mortality rate of this coronavirus is roughly 3.6%, which is 34 more times more than the regular flu. Every 3 days, it doubles. That's changing in the US. So the last stats that I saw, the US is now exceeding Italy and China as of today, as of this evening, exceeding Italy and China with over, I think it's 85,000 cases. Canada seems to be moving at a slightly slower rate, but it's also increasing significantly. we have a responsibility right now where we can flatten the curve. And the way that we do that is we take our immediate measures to slow down by staying in. And I know that I'm speaking to the converted for anybody who's here on the call, but it surprises me when I hear people are still, they're going out in public and they're inviting their friends in or their families in. Isolation means isolation. It means that you don't move out of your immediate household, your immediate, whoever's in your house right now. The reality is that somehow this is going to affect all of us. It's roughly a 1 in 1,000 is what the last stat said. It's going to affect us all somehow, whether it's someone we know is going to get the virus, or we're going to get it, or we have it and we're asymptomatic, which is really very likely. I came back from Iceland about 10 days ago, came back early from my trip. And today I read that Iceland they have been doing voluntary testing. So people can go and get tested voluntarily, whether they're symptomatic or not. And what they found is 50% of the people that were tested were asymptomatic. So I'm healthy, I'm checking my temperature, I have no symptoms, my family's healthy, but we don't know if we're symptomatic or not, so we're isolating. And the reality is that this virus is doing what viruses do. Viruses spread, viruses latch on to immune systems and attack the immune system. And that's what this virus is doing. There's nothing it's doing that it's not supposed to be doing. So that's the reality of the coronavirus. And it's more than a virus right now. This is more about where we are in our world and in our community. Like, the world is changing so rapidly. And as a humanity, this is giving us an opportunity to pause and think of the world and our lives and our future in a much, much different way. And it's giving us an opportunity to move into potentially higher consciousness. So in order to do that, we need to let go of fear. We need to let go of anxiety, because that's going to take us into a lower vibrational level and take us out of our high consciousness. It's not that we don't take precautions, because we still take our precautions, but it's thinking about this in a new way that keeps us from spiraling out of fear, moving down from fear and into a level of higher consciousness. It's an opportunity to see unification in the world, to strengthen our collective reach out to other people, our presence as a species, and to look and see if we can connect with a sense of safety in the uncertainty. So if this is certainly, everything about this is uncertain. None of us know what's going to happen day to day, but can we find a sense of safety in the uncertainty? And that's going to help us to stay grounded and not spiral out into our fear. I'm going to go into that in a few moments. So the question then is this really a crisis? And of course, the pandemic has been issued, states of emergency are issued, and it certainly looks like a crisis. But if we look at it as a crisis that is igniting fear in us, it prevents us from being able to access our creative thinking brain that's going to help us to calmly navigate this situation. So what if, instead of thinking of it as a crisis, this is an acknowledgement that really we have been in a state of crisis for decades and decades and decades, right? We've been contributing to the destruction of the planet. We've been seeing rising sea levels, melting ice caps. That was my big trip to Iceland. Was my daughter was doing a documentary on the melting ice caps, and what that means for the environment. And we're seeing unprecedented burns in Australia, in California, extinctions of species. So the question then is, who is the real virus? Like, what is our responsibility? And is this something that's being given to us as a wake-up call? Is there a higher intelligence that's offering this to us as an opportunity to wake up and perhaps to receive the greatest gift of our lifetime? So it's a different way to look at it. And this is going to be our conversation today, is what is the opportunity that's coming from this, and how can we navigate that? Now, I know that our brain it really likes to latch on to fear and danger and the pandemic and all the media chaos that's happening. And what happens when our brains latch onto that is we have three typical responses. We have fight, flight, or freeze. And when we are in fight, flight, or freeze, we're activating the amygdala, which is the fear center of our brain. And when we activate the amygdala, we are in a reptilian response situation. We're no longer able to think as clearly, as effectively, as creatively as we would like. And what I want to offer to you is an opportunity to move out of fight, flight, and freeze, to consider moving into an opportunity of thrive. So what if this situation was welcoming us to step into thriving in our lives, so that we can look at what's happening as this opportunity to nourish ourselves, to nourish our earth, to heal the earth. And it takes a different perspective. But the perspective that you're running right now, if you're sitting in fight or flight, you're creating a belief that there is a lack, that there's not enough, that things are going to be really dangerous soon. And that's creating the thoughts. And the thoughts create your feelings create your behaviors create your habits, and your habits then feed your beliefs. So anytime you move into fear and panic, it activates your sympathetic nervous system. And that creates the feelings that you're having of anxiety and tension and stress. And those feelings that you're having in your body are then moving and navigating you into exhibiting behaviors and creating habits that then reinforce this cycle. This is the cycle of our reality. So we have to somehow stop some of our beliefs to stop our thoughts. We have to decide we want to create a change. And in my YTT, I often teach this saying that we need to make a decision, take a chance. What is the saying? Take a chance to make a choice to create a change. Take a chance to make a choice to create a change. It's not necessarily going to change the amount of money that's in your bank. This is not about manifesting something that's not real right now, but it's changing how you interact and how you engage with what's happening right now, so that you can feel calmer and you can see the benefits, the blessings, and move forward without the panic that then feeds your nervous system in a way that becomes this terrible cycle of fear and panic and misperception that will lead you feeling unhealthy. And the reality is 80 to 90% of our mindset impacts our immune system. 80 to 90% of our mindset impacts our immune system. So we're in a time where we're being called to strengthen our immune system, right? So we can avoid, if we're not already sick, we can avoid getting this virus. And if we do have it, we can recover faster. And yet the fear and anxiety and stress are taking a toll on our immunity and makes us more vulnerable, more susceptible, and potentially sicker over time. So what's happening is we need to learn how to disarm and to move out of this matrix. This matrix is the conditioning that we've created from our beliefs and our thoughts and the feelings that we're creating. This is all a matrix that that is not healthy for us. And if you've seen the movie The Matrix, it's this being able, the Keanu Reeves is offered to take this red pill to move out of the matrix and to help people to awaken. That's really what the movie is about. Christian Pankhurst from Heart IQ, many of you know that I follow Heart IQ very religiously. It's one of my favorite methodologies and practices. And Christian is doing a free webinar this weekend. He's calling it a summit, and it's all weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I believe Sunday. And I was listening this morning, and he reminded me of two things that I wanted to share with you. One is the mind is a wonderful slave, but a terrible master. The mind is a wonderful slave, but a terrible master. If we rely on our mind, I'm going to go back to the previous slide. If we rely on our mind that generates its thoughts from our beliefs, and the mind is generating the thoughts and the beliefs that we're not safe and that there's some panic that needs to move through our system, that's what we're going to experience, because the mind only knows comfort and security. But can we create safety even in the unknowing? I'm going to show you how we can do that in a little bit. The other thing Christian said today that really resonated with me is the greatest gift you can give the world is to become a fully vibrant you. The second gift is to join with others who agree to that commitment to become their wisest, healthiest self. And so throughout this webinar, I want to give you some strategies so you can become the most fully vibrant you. And by joining in community right now together And I'll make this available for you to share as well. Share it in your communities. We then invite others to become more vibrant, healthy, and wiser. In order to do that, we do need to change our perspective, right? So Dan Brown said, sometimes a change of perspective is all it takes to see the light. And you know my favorite quote, if you know me, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. These times are calling for us to create significant change in our perspective. We cannot change what's happening in the world except the personal responsibility that we have to stay inside or to self-isolate and soon to be quarantined, right? I think that started already today. So we need to change our perspective so that we can navigate this and come out of it feeling more vibrant, more alive, more fulfilled, more awake, and then create the changes moving forward that's going to make the future more positive, healing, and healthy. So we're called, what if we look at the perspective that we're at right now, that we have been called forward. We've been called forward now to hold the earth in a way that we can heal. I believe that we've all made covenants. We've all made decisions when we come to this earth to connect, to grow, to heal, to love, to become the fullest potential of who we are. And sometimes we forget about that. And when we create the suffering that we've created on the earth, maybe there's a higher intelligence that's saying, you know what, I'm going to take care of this now. And this is the way that it's taking care of it. And as it's taking care of the world, we have an opportunity to take care of ourselves. We get to stay home and we get to rest. We get to be with our families. We get to take a different perspective and have a different relationship with our work. And the impacts of that we're seeing now through satellite images of China and Italy, through the canals in Italy, the waters in the world. We're seeing that there's a reduction in air pollution and CO2s are falling drastically. So the impact of staying home is having a significant imprint, a reduced imprint on the pollution in the world. So what if instead we're called forward to look at working on business instead of working in business, right? We're not like slaves to our work. That we get to pull our children out of school and teach them the ethics, the values, you know, the important things that we want them to learn. They're all going to go back to school eventually. They're all going to learn the math and the language and the science and the geography and the history and whatever else they're learning in school. This is a time where we can teach them how to be sufficient, how to cultivate resilience, how to play again, right? How to be creative, how to decide what it is that they want to learn. My son at 13 was asked to come up with his own learning plans for this time period. And I'm really grateful my daughter, who is in her teaching ed program, has become his like homeschool teacher. And so she has created programs for him and guidelines for him, provided websites for him, but he got to decide what he wanted to learn about. So he's learning about how to recreate a tsunami. He's learning how to play guitar. Yeah, he is doing some French work, and he wanted to learn fractions, so he's learning fractions, and then he's journaling every day. And next week he'll be asked to write a song, and that will be part of his language arts program. So there's lots of creative ways that we can help our children to expand in their knowledge and their education without doing traditional ABCs. So what is it that you want your kids to learn? We're sitting down at the dinner table, and I'm asking my kids, what is your sweet today and what is your sour? Right? Sweet is like, what's a really good thing about today? And your sour is what's something that wasn't so great. And as we sit around the table, we're having a hard time coming up with any sours. Like, this is a really sweet time for us because we're choosing to see it that way. We're spending time together as a family. We're connecting. We're playing. I'll let you guys know I'm becoming a really masterful basketball player. And I had no idea I had that in me, but I'm playing so much basketball with my son. So what is it that you're being called forward to right now, personally and as a citizen of this earth, of this globe? Now, one of the things that I teach a lot is the universe has our backs. And I think for those of us who are, those of you who are struggling, who are in suffering, who are sick, who are in worry, who are in stress, who are in financial worry, this is your opportunity to make that your mantra. The universe has your back. And maybe what we need to do is wait out this flood, wait it out, and find the grace in the waiting, in the period, in the patience, and trust that a new earth is waking up and it's waiting for us right now. I feel like this is a time where we get to create our future. We're going to start with a slate that's going to be a little bit different than what we left, right? It's going to be a little bit clearer. It might call upon a little more creativity. It might be polished more than it was, and you get to create. And we get to wake up and experience a powerful growth. And part of the growth might be your personal, emotional, spiritual, energetic, mental growth. Like, how do you manage this? How are you working through this? How are you breathing through this? That might be your growth. And trust that as you get these glimpses, it's going to create in you a sense of resilience and power and strength that you may not even have realized was inside you. So we're given time now to come together, to be inspired, to become resourceful. I know in our home, like, we're just not spending money, like, at all. We're not going out. We're not ordering in. We're not buying. Like, there's no money being spent. And so we're becoming really resourceful. We're going to explore going into the backyard and cutting nettle, like stinging nettle and cedar. And we're going to try doing making some products at home, like creating the oils and making some products. So it's kind of really fun how we get to get really juicy and creative and tap into our aliveness and things that we haven't been able to do before. We also have an opportunity now to take personal responsibility for our physical bodies. That's part of our growth. There's a lot of things that you can do. I'm posting yoga classes every day online. You can be doing yoga daily, right? You could be doing workouts daily. You don't need a gym to work out. All you need is like a space to lay out a mat and put on a video. And maybe this is a new beginning. Bill Gates posted something recently that I really connected with. He said, what if this is a great corrector? What if it's a new beginning? He said, our purpose maybe here is not to buy toilet paper. Like, what is it with that, right? Our purpose is to connect, to be with our family, to take care of ourselves, to have compassion for those who have been oppressed, by recognizing what it feels like to be limited. Like, what a teaching we have right now. In a sense, we are being oppressed. I mean, maybe not really. I feel like it doesn't even resonate with me because I still have a roof over my head and I have food in my fridge and I have money in the bank and I have a full a tank of gas if I need it. But what if the challenges we're feeling right now is an equalizer that's letting us feel and open up with compassion to what other people in the world might be dealing with on a daily basis? And there's a sense of equalization here that it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, what kind of house you live in, what leadership, what kind of leader you are, what organization you work for. It doesn't matter. This is like, everybody is equal in this. Everybody is equal. And we all come to a standstill, and we're all asked to cultivate patience, and we're all asked to take responsibility for an earth that's been sick for way too long, for our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our emotions that perhaps have been sick for way too long. And we have an opportunity to cultivate a sense of harmonious interaction and relationships that I feel we've all really been craving, but have been so stuck in the busyness of life that we haven't known how to access it. So we have a chance now to engage in a different way and to work in a way that's integrating the entire globe. A couple of days ago, this story was shared with me, and it really resonated with me. So I copied it and I want to share it with you today. And you can close your eyes if you'd like at this point and just listen to the words. These are very wise words. And they come from a person called Gurpreet Gill. And it goes like this. And what if we subscribe to the philosophy that life is always working out for us, that there is an intelligence far greater than humans at work, that all is interconnected. What if this virus is here to help us, to reset, to remember what is truly important, reconnecting with family and community, reducing travel so the environment, the skies, the air, our lungs all get a break, working from home rather than commuting to work, reconnecting with family as there's more time, and an invitation to turn inwards, a deep meditation, rather than the usual extroverted going out to self-soothe. To reconnect with self, what is really important to me, to find the presence of grace for all. There's a shift underway in our society. What if it's one that is favorable for us? What if this virus is an ally in our evolution, in our remembrance of what it means to be connected, human, living a simpler life, to be less impactful, more kind to our environment? Another way of relating to this virus, this unfolding, this evolution. It was time for a change. We all knew it, and change has arrived. The possibility that suffering that is so deep and wide will wake up our hearts in a collective way. In a pandemic that can seem so dangerous, can you be the person that feels the intelligence of the fear and hold it with mindfulness and with compassion? Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. You're welcome to open your eyes. So what if we're being called right now to move from fear to hope in this uncertainty? What if the moment you realize that this quarantine and self-isolation means you're actually getting back the life you really wanted? What if the solution is that simple, that you can't throw money at the market? Like I know south of us, the leaders have tried. You can't throw money at the market. Money doesn't solve this problem. Isolation, self-isolation, quarantine, healthcare, taking care of yourself, that's what solves this problem. Stay home. And then the question is, well, what if you lose your job? What if your business dies? How are you going to work? What if you get the virus? All these intelligent questions. I'm not saying they're not intelligent questions, but they trigger your sympathetic nervous system. This is the fight, flight, and freeze response. And then you start that cycle. So again, what if you change that cycle and you allow yourself to move from fear to hope in this uncertainty, seeing that this is perhaps the greatest opportunity? And I mentioned in the beginning meditation that it's going to take some vulnerability. And vulnerability is showing up. This is Brené Brown's words, showing up when we don't know the outcome. None of us know the outcome of this. It takes courage to show up. It takes courage to feel, and it takes courage to consider an alternative and welcome the change that is happening. We can't stop it. We can do a lot to slow it down, but it's here, it's happening. It's not a question of when, it's here now, right? So the sooner you take action, the sooner you navigate this period of time will put you in a position of growth that comes after. The sooner you can realize that you have the opportunity to relax into what's happening instead of tense and stress into what's happening, and feed the tension into your nervous system that reduces your immunity, that makes you more susceptible to this. The sooner you realize that, the healthier you'll get. So the greatest shifts happen in uncertainty. Change is happening, right? Uncertainty is part of life, and we don't like it because we like to be in control. And this is not something we can control very much. So how can you let in your uncertainty? Well, one of the things I know is before any breakthroughs, and this is my personal experience, but I know it to be a truth as well in the general population, before any breakthroughs, there's a breakdown. And we're going to get through this, right? This is the breakdown that's going to take us to our breakthroughs. And it's going to seem worse before it gets better. But if you remember what I said earlier, that mindset is 80% contributing to your immunity. It's also going to contribute to your success in your nervous system. Then perhaps you can see this as an opportunity to move forward, following the natural course of action, and that you're okay. And you'll get through this. And we'll support each other however we can. We'll connect, and we're all going to get through this. The timing, nobody knows, right? We don't know when it's going to end. But you can look at it as though this is the end of the world, and maybe it is. Maybe it's the end of the world as we know it. Maybe it's the end of busyness, the end of predatory systems, the end of governance as we know it, the end of enslavement to the momentum and the craziness of our lives, the end of basically humanity as we know it. We cannot come out of this the way we went into it. Can we welcome the end to be able to welcome something new and different? Maybe this coronavirus is helping us to look at how life really was unsustainable before. And I know somehow we managed, and like super guilty, hands up here, right? Busyness, busyness, busyness. And I had my self-help practices. I knew how to take care of myself, but I was crazy busy. And one of the greatest joys that I'm experiencing now is in the morning, I catch myself. I get up and I do some work, right? I had to create this deck presentation this morning, 7 o'clock. I was working on it. And then I closed it. And I went upstairs and I joined my daughter. She has her coffee. I have my apple cider vinegar hot water. It's building my immune system. And I sat on the couch for a few minutes with her. And I avoided cleaning because the reality is there are four humans living in my house right now. And the house is going to get messy. No one's coming in. Who cares, right? In the grand scheme of things. When I look back and I'm 98 years old, 108 years old, whatever age I am, I'm going to look back at this time and I'm not going to think, those dishes really needed to get done above everything else. I'm going to think, wow, I got to have a conversation with my daughter. So how do you want to make the changes? Because one of the things is we cannot go back. We can't go back to what we were doing. And there's no precedence for this path. This is an uncharted territory that we're moving into. We get to create. This path is open wide for us. How do you want to walk the path moving forward? So many of you know that my program is called Realign to Thrive, and I've created some acronyms for that, with the R being remember. So important that as you go through this, I want you to remember, no matter what happens to you, no matter what happens in the world, you are a miracle. And others are a miracle. And this experience that we're having is a miracle. And if you're in tension and stress and anxiety, it'll be hard for you to remember that. But you are a miracle. The E is explore. Explore what emotions and energetic experiences are present in you. So take the time every day to tune in, to sit in silence, to feel your body. And when you feel whatever's coming up, don't need to change it. Just allow whatever surfaces to be part of your experience. And then can you send love and kindness to every part of you, no matter what comes up? And recognize that whatever you're going through right now, it doesn't define you. It informs you. It's a stepping stone to take you to something that you have no idea is waiting for you on the other side. Can you love what you're going through, knowing that there is a potential for your future that has yet to be revealed to you? And when you get to practice being the real you, so REAL, remember, explore, allow, and love, you get to live from a place of inspiration. You get to make inspired decisions every day, to stay with the moments that are painful and trust that they'll show you the path to your deepest purpose. You get to stay in a state of gratitude. If you can do your sweet and your sour every day, your sweet is like, what are you grateful for today? What are the blessings that you had today? And you can stay in a place of non-judgment for yourself, for others, for people that are making decisions politically that don't make sense for you, for people that are going out when they're being told to stay in. Like, we don't judge them. We may not like what they're doing, but can we remove the judgments? And maybe move towards a new utopia, I don't think I spelled that right, a new utopia, where you can get to create your own mindset. And this is the work from David Bayer. He says, maintain a powerful mindset. You become what you think. Remember, your beliefs create your thought, create your feelings, create your actions, create your behavior, create your outcomes. You become what you think. So can you move from stress, anxiety, fear, and tension to, I'm going to be okay? Believe that you're going to be okay. Believe that your family's going to be okay. Most people are recovering from this. The mortality rate is very, very low. It's only 3.8%, super low. So most people are going to recover from this. So the power of decision is strong. Decide that you want to keep a powerful mindset, and what do you need to do to create that powerful mindset? We know meditation is important. Connecting in community is important. Checking in with yourself, tracking your feelings is important. Listen to webinars like this that are going to help to lift you up and take you out of the places and states of fear and anxiety. Keep moving forward, right? Let your focus be on the present for the future, not on the past and not on future worry, right? This moment present, you're doing okay, and you're making all the right decisions that are going to help to create the future that you long for. Try not to worry about fixed debt-related essentials and financials in general. In Canada, we're really fortunate that the government has come up with a plan to support us. And I know that there may be a few weeks that are tense, and I don't really know who is everybody that's going to qualify for the $2,000 a month that they're suggesting or proposing for us. But there's help out there. There's support out there. And so try not to worry even about your finances, because worry is going to decrease your immunity. That's going to create stress and decrease your immunity. And sorry, that was meant to say create certainty around you. And you create certainty around you by having powerful conversations with people, with your tribe. Figure out who is your tribe. How can you get on a call every day with someone that's going to help to keep you uplifted, rather than talking about the worry, the fear, and the anxiety. Create solidity around you by creating solidity with your tribe. Share that. Now, in order to do this, you've got to do these push-ups yourself. You have to do your own emotional, energetic push-ups. Right? This is Christian Pankhurst's words rather. I can't do the push-ups for you. I can give you this information. I can try to inspire you and give you hope and positivity, but you have to keep doing these emotional, energetic push-ups. If you just sit back every day, like tomorrow you start off and you go back into your habits of stress and fear and anxiety, then you're going to be in a place of stress and fear and anxiety. Instead, if you can wake up and do the work, you're going to find a different reality. You're going to find different beliefs and thoughts and feelings and behaviors and outcomes for yourself. But you have to do the work. So here's some of the suggestions that I want to give to you to do the work. I mentioned earlier, connect with your tribe. Who is your tribe? Now, of course, we want to practice self-distance, and now quarantine as well. Stay home, avoid Starbucks, Tim's, drive-thrus, etc. Don't even worry about trying to get food from other people. But if you want to support small businesses, you can order gift cards online. You could pay into GoFundMes that are happening, but try to avoid going out in public. And instead, allow your tribe to be a virtual tribe now. We are so fortunate that we have an online ability, this community that we can connect with online. The world has gotten really a lot smaller because we can connect with people across the world as though they're right here sitting with us talking. And what a beautiful blessing to have that. So have powerful conversations with your community, and then more than ever, be in service. So I love what Marianne said earlier, that she's looking to volunteer to help. She's going to the grocery store anyways. Can she pick up groceries for people who are in need that can't get out? And if you have the ability to help other people, whatever that might be, amazing, right? Keep your social distance, but help them out. Get some groceries, drop it at their doorstep. Be in support as much as you can. And even if part of your support is just connecting with people who are in isolation and having conversations with them, giving them hope, keeping them positive as they move through this. And be more viral than the virus itself. This was David Baer yesterday. I love this quote. Be more viral than the virus itself. Share with others that you're going to be okay and they're going to be okay. Let them know that humans are going to endure this. We're all going to thrive. We're all going to be okay. And if we commit to enhance our psychological and our emotional states, and I'll give you some strategies in a moment, it's going to help us. But stay connected to like-minded people and tribes. Feel the beautiful blessing of having more time right now to fuel yourself, to rest, to connect, and to create some structure of a different way of being than maybe you were showing up before. Now, take care of your body. Remember that your immunity is going to help you in this time. So I know I'm talking to a lot of people on this call who are already converted, but move your body every day. What an opportunity you have right now to be creative with your body. Can you do daily yoga practices? I'm going to do a little plug in here. My yoga classes are every day on YouTube, Diana Lockett. I'm committing to do one every day. I'm not always sure what time they'll get posted, because sometimes it seems to take like a couple of hours literally for YouTube to upload the video, but I'm doing them every morning and getting them out to you, and I really want to continue that. Do it, like start a fitness program. Right now, I believe we're still able to go out for walks, keeping your social distance, go out and move your body. Make nourishing choices for your body. Eat well. Sugar is depleting to your immune system. It creates stress in your body and it depletes your immune system. So eat well, make good choices for your body, build your immunity, drink lots of water, get out and get some vitamin D. The days are getting beautiful, that they're long, there's some sun out there. So nourish yourself with vitamin D. Say hello to your neighbors, keep your distance, but say hello and connect. Remember that 80 to 90% of what you put into your body is from your mindset. So if you have a mindset that it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get this anyways, and the whole world is going to die, you're going to sit on your couch and eat junk food. So change your mindset, believe that you have the ability to really overcome this and to grow from it. Take care of your body, and you will see that you'll have a positive influence out of this. We're doing lots of cooking at home. Oh my gosh, the amount of cooking we're doing is unbelievable. My kitchen is like full of dirty dishes all the time, but we're eating really well and getting to try some new recipes, which is pretty cool. Share your knowledge with your community. Now, I know some of you have businesses that are watching this, so you can move your business to an online community and share your knowledge, your skills. Get on Zoom calls with people. You don't have to be an expert at anything. Whatever you know already makes you an expert at what you know, right? You don't have to go and learn new skills. Share what you know. Connect with people. Invite them to come and chat with you, and step up as much as you can to be in your community. Now, the perspective shift is we get to wake up and we get to create this powerful shift. So my question to you is, what do you want to build? What do you get to do? How do you get to create your future? This is truly an opportunity. We cannot go back to the way things were. So if you're enjoying your meditation, your yoga, your walks, your play, your mindfulness, all these things that I talked about, your healthy eating, your movement, your connection, your community, how do you get to create a future where that becomes part of your new normal? What is your new normal going to be? And how can you ride out this season? So this is just a season. What's going on in the world right now? It's a season. One day we're going to look back on this. And do you want to look back on this time that you had with fear and anxiety and stress and tension? Or can you look back on it and see that you tackled this with grit and with grace? And if you did, what do you need to bring up grace and grit in this time? What are you longing to birth in this time? What skills, what new learnings do you want to do? And you have all this time now to do it. And the final thing is, remember to be compassionate. So as much as I'm talking about mindset change your perspective, be willing to see a different possibility, potential, and hope in all this, there's going to be times where we're all going to move back into places of fear and stress and tension. This is part of the duality. And then we get to remember, we get to awaken. That's part of our realignment. And can you hold compassion for everything, for the times that you're awake, for the times that you go back to sleep, and welcome all the experiences and reach out and connect with each other. So everyone take a deep breath in